In humans, 5 separate vertebrae at the inferior end of the vertebral column fuse to form one solid bone known as the sacrum. The sacrum articulates with the hips at the sacroiliac joints, and it is here that the axial skeleton is supported then by the legs. The legs can hold up the weight of the body because the iliac region of the os coxa, the hip bone, fuses with the vertebral column at the sacrum. The formation of one strong, solid bone is obviously then important for the support that the legs offer the axial skeleton. In fish, there are no specializations of vertebrae in the pelvic region to attach a pelvic girdle, and so fish lack sacral vertebrae and a sacrum. The most primitive amphibians, like Acanthostega, also lack sacral vertebrae or a trace of a sacrum, and so thus this amphibian would have spent most of its time in the water, given that its legs were less able to support the weight of the body on land. The primitive amphibian Ichthyostega is the first to show specializations of sacral vertebrae so that legs could support the weight of the body on land. And tetrapods have characteristically possessed a sacrum from that point, although it may be modified, as in this frog, where the sacrum is actually a mobile joint with the ilia of the hip to facilitate jumping. The earliest dinosaurs, such as Herrerasaurus, possessed 2 sacral vertebrae, but later lineages could add additional sacral vertebrae, either superior or inferior to the original 2. In birds, there is a fusion of the sacral vertebrae with thoracic and coccygeal vertebrae and with the hips to form a solid structure known as the synsacrum. As therapsid reptiles evolved into cynodonts in mammalian ancestry, a 3rd sacral vertebra was added, and the number of sacral vertebrae can vary from 4 in this platypus to 4 in rodents, 3 in dogs, and 5 in horses and humans. The shape of the sacrum can vary, as is evident in the sacra of this cat and this mink. As one compares the hip and sacra of apes such as the chimpanzee to those of humans, one can see modifications for upright walking, and clearly as the human cranium expanded, the entire pelvic region needed to accommodate the increased size for childbirth. There is a gender dimorphism in sacral shape, with the sacrum of females being broader and having a sharper angle towards the base, while the curvature of the male sacrum is more continuous. The name sacrum, going back to ancient writers such as Galen, literally means the sacred bone. Why it was considered sacred is not entirely clear. Perhaps its proximity to the birth canal and the mystical perception of reproduction. Perhaps the idea that one day the physical body would be resurrected, and therefore there needed to be a component of the original body which did not decompose, and given that the sacrum is such a robust, compact bone, it was slow to decompose and therefore was perhaps the bone from which the entire immortal body would later be reconstituted. These are possibilities.